I didn't even know it was that much.
Yeah, I didn't.
So it's basically next to your 1 rep max.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's take everything but the blue. Okay, so this is sort of what's happening as you begin to fail at that weight. You're gonna come down, and then you get to where your depth is, right?
Yeah.
Then you come up, and you're trying to maintain position. So this requires you to stay tight. So in order to move the bar a little bit, you're wanting to do this, which is not bad. You want to lift the bar. So you're wanting to do this, so you're feeling that failure. So you're doing this.
Okay.
So what you should just, my only best recommendation for right now, because we're kind of going back and forth with technique, is that you just, once you get to the bottom of your position, you have to drive as hard as you can and be very aggressive.
Okay.
Okay. Now with this weight, it might not be so easy. Ours, because it's going to feel ridiculously light because we just went up. Now we're going down.
Right.
So the purpose of us going down in weight is for you to go lower and maintain spinal position as best you can.
Okay. Maintain spinal position.
So let's just do 5, okay? And let's try to maintain our spinal position, okay? That's our priority. And you're still going to lose a little bit, I know, but do your best. 5 perfect reps. It will feel really light, so kind of be prepared for that, okay? Good. Good. Good job. That was awesome. So now,
definitely can feel the fatigue for sure.
What are you feeling working the most or getting tired?
I feel from my glutes, which I'm happy about.
That's good. That's good.
That's what I wanted.
So think about this. The reason why you tend to feel more in your glutes now is because you're not giving up your spinal mechanics.
Yeah, bringing forward has really helped.
So I mean, that's really what it is. So if you give it your spinal mechanics, it's like you're just like swinging your leg back and forth, versus keeping your pelvis in neutral. You can squeeze your glutes, but if you just swing your leg, you won't feel it as much because your spine is in neutral.
So in hindsight, if you look at the repetitions again, especially the last 3, or actually the first 2 where there's a lot of butt winking, I said that there wasn't a whole lot of spinal mechanics giving, and there actually was. There was actually more than I initially thought. Just in comparison from the beginning of the session, it made a pretty big improvement, but she's still giving up too much butt winking, too much spinal flexion at the bottom. Also, as she got further into the set, she corrected herself. There's like this part where she sort of wiggles in and puts her pelvis in more neutral and changes her squat direction and focuses more on going straight down, which makes a big difference in minimizing how much butt wink she has, because instead of trying to stick her butt back and sit, she's actually squatting a little bit more forward, allowing the bar path to stay much more vertical.
You're having failure because your adductors are tight.
Yeah.
You're shifting, your left knee's buckling, and you're shifting to the, I think I can tell if you're shifting to the right, but it looked like you were. Yeah. So you're squatting, and you're shifting this way.
Right.
Which means you need to spend some time rolling these bad boys out a ton.
That's the one spot that I didn't get before.
So let's do that real quick. Okay. 1 second. Why does everyone have to be here on this Saturday?
It's weird. It's usually
Why this Saturday? Why?
It's Sunday.
Oh, Sunday. Why this Sunday?
I don't know. It's weird.
Okay, so I don't know if you've ever stretched. Let me see. 1 second. I'm just gonna show you something. I'm gonna demo real quick. 1 second.
Okay.
I don't know if you've ever done butterfly stretch, like in your bikini, and you can see your this kind of muscle that sticks out. Yeah. That's your adductor magnus. I'm pretty sure it is. Yeah. Sorry everyone out there if I get that muscle wrong, but. To the adductor magnus, I want to sit right on this. Okay. Okay? I want to sit on that for a moment because that's basically what's failing. All this stuff is giving out and wanting to buckle in. All right? If you got your knees out further, you'd be able to go a little bit lower and you'd also be able to engage more of your butt. All right? So what we're going to do is we're going to get onto that adductor magnus right here. You're going to position, so find that muscle, you'll feel it because it'll be pretty taut. It might not feel like it hurts, it'll just feel very stiff. It'll just feel very taut, and you're gonna just dig right in. And you're gonna rest your leg, okay? And you can't turn your leg in. You don't want to move around. Once you find a tender spot, you're just gonna leave it there. Yeah. Can you feel that? So you're using your upper body to modulate pressure, right?
Yeah.
You can't completely relax on it.
No. But not if you want to have bloody
All right, I'm gonna set my timer here.
And that's the one thing, like, especially after traveling all week and everything, my IT band is extremely tight, my quads feel really tight. I got a massage yesterday, so I didn't get to work his adductors.
So you find that terrible spot, right? And you just sit there. Don't even move. We're trying to deactivate that muscle as much as we can. All right, so she just finished foam rolling, 2 minutes on each side. Let's retest real quick, not with the bar, but just your body weight. Yeah, it's fine. See if that feels any different for you. Tight stomach, right? Don't change, just still stays tight. So different, or how does that feel? So turn your feet out just a little bit more. Good. Tight stomach. There you go. That's what we want right there. That's way better.
Yeah, I felt like I'm able to drop it lower and get out of the hole faster. So much shaking.
So let's try 3 now. Okay, rigid abdomen, squeeze the glutes, brace the abs, 3 reps. Okay, 1. Okay, 1 more. All right, good job, sit down. Okay, so how was that?
Better.
Better?
Yeah.
What do you notice?
I just didn't feel as tight, and I felt more stable. I wasn't as shaky as I was before. Still have work to do with the breathing, but I do feel like it's easier to get off the rack. It's easier for me to get down and then power out of it, which is one of the problems I was having.
So with you bracing, so my recommendation, we're going to do more reps on this. Take a deep breath in, come down, right? And then go up and take another deep breath in. So basically re-tighten every single repetition.
Yeah, and that's probably not what I'm not doing that.
So 188 is about your 1 rep max. So what is, this is 130 something. 30, almost 135. I say 133 divided by 188. So it's about 70% of your 1 RM. So let's slap a 5 on each side. That way we're closer to a little 72%. So face this way, look at the mirror when you do that. No, face this way. See your back, see your side profile. So see your spine. So I want you to go as high as you can with the arched back. So come back, come up a little, come up just like right there. Now arch your back. So there, see if you can come up while maintaining that. That's what we want. Scoot it back over. That was actually a really good drill right there, just made up right there. That was awesome. So go back to the bottom, start from the bottom. We're gonna start from the bottom. It doesn't matter how you get there for now. Okay, tighten your stomach, you're arching your back. So force arch in your back. So you're too low, like right there. So that's about, so tight, so you have a curve in your back. Put more of a curve in your back. No, like this, like that. Like that, you're good. So this is about where, that's pretty good. Now see if you can come up, tighten stomach, slowly come up. Now see if you can go down the same way you went up. See that little give there? Yeah. So you're close. You see, but you feel that though. So that's actually the first recognition is feeling that. So if you're tighter in the stomach, that won't happen, or very little of that will happen. Okay? It's really hard. See, there's a little bit, but that's pretty damn good. So a lot has to do with your adductors being very tight. So when you're going down, you can't stay out enough to keep spinal pressure, because when you push out, you're able to stay more upright.
Yeah, it's probably a silly question I'm asking.
Sorry, go ahead.
I'm wondering how much, like, the way that my pelvis is, because with competing, we have to do a lot of arching.
Right, yes.
And the way that we pose, and I think over time, and doing that for over a year, I feel like that might be one of the reasons why, like, I'm always so...
And wearing heels too, absolutely.
Right.
They all contribute to this, but it's nothing that can't be remedied with strength.
With just proper mechanics and practicing that.
I would just say, like, if you want to, it really does, because then doing this makes your back chronically tight.
Yes, I'm always tight in the middle of that.
Yeah, so I mean, that's just, so you're actually, so I think that's the reason why you shake. So when you're going here, when you're going to push or tilt, what's happening is you're stretching out your lower back. You're not actually stretching it out, you're actually going into neutral. Right? But it feels like you're stretching.
It does.
And you're shaking because your stomach is doing a weighted crunch against your tight lower back muscles. So you know how when you do like a really heavy weight, you shake.
Yeah.
So that's what you're doing. So you're basically squeezing your abdominals. So then your abs is shaking because you're like trying to find stability. Because right now this is the easier position for you to be in.
Yeah.
You're very efficient.
Cool.
Okay. So it's gonna be a tough set. I'd like you to get 10.
Okay.
All right, ish, maybe 11. And just really kind of pump yourself up. Let's see if we can do this. You know, take that big breath. I'll be right back to spot you in case you need a little assistance. So don't feel like you're gonna give out. You know, so if you have like a risky set, I'll be right there. So just tight stomach, breath in. We're gonna try to do 10, maybe as many as you can. So breath in, retighten every single time. And 1, good. Tight stomach, good. Tight stomach, 2, good. And just launch out of that hole. 3, good. 4, good. Do the best you can. Find your safety limit. Good. Say one more. I want you to hit depth. I'll be here to spot you. So go down.
I'm feeling.
Okay. Find your limit. Awesome. That was a good one.
So in this set, it's pretty obvious that Sabrina didn't hit depth when she was squatting. She was essentially squatting down to right before she was going to lose spinal mechanics. Now, it kind of automatically sets itself up this way because the weight is pretty heavy. It's approaching her limit. If the weight was lower, maybe under 130, under 120, she might give up some of her spine, round it out a bit, and essentially put pressure on those discs in a bad way. Once you get up to this weight, you sort of have these built-in safety mechanisms that make it so that, okay, we don't want to squat any lower, or the weight's too heavy in our back, so we don't want to squat any lower and sacrifice our spinal position because it's not good. So also another thing that's also occurring in that previous set you just saw was the fact that she was actually trying her best to keep her back in neutral. And it was much harder because she's so used to being able to move her spine around her tight adductors. But in this case, because she really tried to keep her form, it made it that much more difficult.
That was heavy.
So this is a tough part because when you push yourself, it can be difficult to know what exactly you should do. But right now, you got to be more consistent with your depth.
Yeah.
It's hard because it's your first time learning this particular depth with each higher.
And then resetting myself.
Yes.
Each one.
It's really just practice. Like the depth right now is weird because you don't have a depth right now. Because I just told you, okay, don't squat below parallel because we're trying to save spinal mechanics, right? And then after you did like 2, then you start to squat higher, higher, higher. Yeah. You know what I mean? But it was good. You did good. So you know how we did that squat where you were here stretching? Yeah. You know and you know how you find neutral? I want to see if you can do that with this weight.
Okay.
Okay. But you can get a drink of water, rest for a moment. I think the tough part is just being able to you really have to know your depth. If it depends on what I was trying to train. It depends on how I train a client, but if it were me training, I would have stopped after the 2nd rep. You know what I mean? We're trying to learn something, we're trying to push ourselves, so it's different.
Yeah.
So, but it always depends on your focus. So typically with me, because I'm powerlifting, I'm trying to make sure that I hit the same depth every single time. It's very specific to my sport, right? So also the other thing too is that when I force depth below parallel, I always run into knee problems. So I only have so many below parallel depth.
20 reps for that.
Yes, before my knee starts to bother me. You know, and it might not even bother me that day. It could bother me later on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
The delayed soreness.
No, it's not delayed. Just connective tissue wear down because of poor mechanics. You know, because then your foot wants to flatten, your knee wants to buckle in, my body wants to shift this way. So it's all these dysfunctions that sort of stack one on top of the other. You know, and then dysfunction is, you can see someone squat, run, play basketball, football terribly for a long time before they get really hurt. You know, and you can say, oh, they got hurt because they did this. It took a long time before it happened.
That makes sense.
You know, like your client said she hurt her MCL.
Yeah.
I mean, I was just, you know, sure I was just joking with Chris. But I mean, that happened over the course of time.
Yeah. She's also a runner. She's a marathon.
So pattern of motion.
Yeah.
You know, just what it is. So let's go see if we take this, let's squat down and just try to find it. You know, you might have to good morning it a little bit, which means it's going to feel harder because in order for you to maintain your spinal position, you're going to have to like lean more forward. Yeah. But with a high bar squat, you can't go too forward because it's very high on your back. So, I mean, there's still a lot when you go parallel. I mean, a part of what I'm trying to do is just exaggerate sort of the teaching, you know, as much as I can so I can kind of get that in your head. So that way you can not rely, because like on when we did that set, the previous set of this,
yeah,
you're using your lower back to get up still.
Yeah.
You know, whereas, like you're really trying to snake it up. Like you're under the bar, you squat, you're really trying to do this. This is your bad habit. And what it should be is rigid butt work. Okay?
But doing all the work
So again, your tendencies when you squat down in the hole, boom, get up. So you're boom, arch. You're trying to like just, which is not always bad, but it should be more like go down in the hole, brace. You know, not extension, right? So you're having too much spinal movement. You know, so that means you got to stretch your hip flexors, crap load, roll out your adductors, stretch your adductors, and that's most of what you need to work on. You know. So did you have any questions or?
No, I mean I think that was pretty thorough. I think that I learned I definitely need to make sure I have a proper warm up. As always, we talk about it all the time as trainers.
Right.
I definitely the adductors I don't do enough of,
right.
So that would really help. So my knee always seems to pull, and when I look at all the videos where I've been squatting, that's been very consistent. So I think that'll help.
So typically this is buckling in. You might be shifting to the left and buckling in, or you might be shifting to the right and buckling in. You know, because the adductor is tight, the left glute is a little bit weaker, not tight enough in the stomach, a ton of different reasons.
Right.
You know.
But yeah, I definitely don't have, any questions other than, no other. I think everything that you said is stuff that I was aware I needed to work on, but how and the cues was where I was lacking, so that's why I wanted to come.
So just focus on squatting above parallel. The best training tool I can recommend, just get a box, squat to a certain height, touch it, come back up, and get a high box or maybe a little bit lower. You know, that way you have a guide. And that way you're consistent about depth. That way you practice staying rigid. Because there's a crossing point. As you get low, it's just going to collapse, It's going to collapse. Under max load, it'll fail.
Yeah.
Okay, but then so when the weight's too heavy, it's almost automatic. Boom, you're going to stay tight. But we want to stay tight at the light weights too. So you want to practice being able to like really, because it's just you don't want to fail at that weight. It's going to hurt your back.
Yeah, no, that makes complete sense. Well, thank you so much,
okay,
man. I really appreciate it.
No, you're very welcome.